I noticed that. You switched
Bill, so
positions.
let's just put this rumour to bed very quickly before we start. There's been a lot of rumours going around about things relating to this podcast. And Laura, did that gin cabinet cost you 80 grand?
80?
all I heard last time was 80 Ks.
80 Ks that gin cabinet cost you behind, I heard.
Just in the door, that is, 80 grand.
It's got 80 kgs in the door.
Go on, show us again. Is that gin in that smoothie?
This is the best smoothie I've had since lockdown. It's so good.
Go on, show us the gin cabinet again. Show us the gin cabinet.
Oh, here we go.
The hidden gin cabinet.
Check out the workmanship.
You got gin in the smoothie.
Is that a secret room at the back there? Is that where you send Danny when he's been in?
That's a mirror.
It's a bit emptier than last time we spoke.
Yeah. Nick, do you want to explain to people what happened last time? Because this is the second time we're doing this, isn't it?
This is the second time we've seen Laura's gin cabinet this last week. That's true. Slight technical error, I think it's called.
Is that what it's called?
Computer says no.
The computer said no. There was too many squash TV matches on there, I think, and not enough space for podcasts. So, apologies, girls, and I just have to go put it out there and say thank you, girls, for being so patient. And I owe you, and filming again. I do owe you one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I knew Jen would give you more stick than
why are you being so nice?
So I just left that to her.
I know, I thought you'd be a bit of a pro at this by now, Nicholas. What do you have to do? Just press a button and press record? What actually went wrong?
Here we go. Go on, Jen, get stuck in.
It's about right. I've got nothing to come back on. The button was pressed. There was not enough memory on my laptop, so it decided to save memory and just film me. And let's face it, no one wants to just watch me for 40 minutes.
True. I had the same mistake doing one of my Zoom workouts where I forgot to put it on speaker view and it filmed everyone in gallery view for the entire session. And I was like, can't really upload that one to YouTube if everyone can just see everybody else and no one can actually see Jackie teaching it.
That's why I've got there it is. That's why I've gone for the Great Escape today, because I got away with it.
We'll let you this time off, Nicholas. Good to see you all again anyway.
Thank you. Well,
bonus time of having at least to see you guys again in a week.
We'll try to keep it a couple of bits that we'll just do the same, but we'll keep it a little bit different just so you're not bored. I've definitely got to go revisit squash history because there was a definite follow-up needed there on Laura you got away with that one, Laura.
Actually. She's got away with a serious one. No wonder she's so chirpy about doing this again.
I think Laura sabotaged my recording, to be honest.
I did, however, win the other quiz, which I was like, I hope we were going to redo that one if we're going to redo the other one.
I've had to get different questions, and in fact there was a major error on my part in the quiz as well, because I gave you some wrong information about asking top 10 or top 20, didn't I? And there's a bit of confusion there. I mean, I say it was on my part. I'm not sure whether we haven't been back through the recording to know whether you didn't hear me properly or what, but I've got a new quiz this week.
It was a bad day at the office, that one, wasn't it, Daz, all round? What happened?
Yeah, I saw Laura's comment actually on Facebook about getting some women on the show.
I thought one of you would have had a little nibble at that, knowing I was joking.
Well, that was a little bit harsh. I thought it was definitely.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I thought someone else would jump on. Like you get some more people going, Daryl, Nick, like what are you doing? Why are there no females on the show? Oh, come on, sort it out. So my quiz is actually based men versus women today.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But how do you know? Do you know the answers to your own questions?
No, we're not playing. I'm the quizmaster.
You said men versus women.
2v1.
Yeah. The questions. The questions are all men v women, so we have to know whether it's men or women and numbers. It's just relax. It's fine.
Tell you what, if 2v1 squash court, who would win, Daz?
What now or in your primes?
Have we not played 2v1?
You would definitely win. I'm not even gonna.
I think you'd be favourites. I think you'd be favourites. You are double Commonwealth gold, silver medalists as a team, by the way.
I saw Shabaggy played. I saw Shabaggy did a bit of 2v1 in Chicago with, was it Selby and Joel? I think he won.
Did he?
Yeah.
That is
I'll have to ask him on his that day that someone withdrew on him.
Yeah. There's a couple of good games actually. It doesn't Ali and Noor play the 2 bounce game, so like Noor's allowed to bounce. I think that'd be a good game as well. They have a close one.
Hard.
Yeah, Rach plays that a lot.
It's hard. Yeah. It's good for both because you have to be so severe on the ball to put it away as the male, and then as the female, it kind of throws your movement out a little bit. And so I remember playing it with Donna, and we had one game, and it was 12-10 or something, and then she lost her head with it because she said, "Oh, it's thrown my movement out."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which is fair
it's
enough.
hard to get used to.
Yeah. It's good.
Right, come on in, Nick. Introduce.
Proper welcome now. Jenny Duncalf. Former world number 3.
That's it.
Is that it? Come on, Daz. World number 2.
Didn't realise it was
Atlantic champion 2009, 133.
Wait, you can't be reading it off, Nick. Don't you know this by now? I saw
Jen's a pro. Jen's a pro at this. Jen's memorised it all.
Yeah.
Pro. Go on, Nick.
133 England caps, second to your Bezzy mate, Alison, who's just snuck past you in the last few years. But that's that's more England caps than yours truly. And I've played forever. Good state of
How many have you got?
125.
Yeah.
How's that?
Few injuries.
It was
you
easy.
You started so young, Jan.
I think it was easy.
I didn't realise it.
I think it was just easier to get in your team back in the day.
And the old European individuals and.
You never played any of those, Jed.
I did. I won it 3 times.
You haven't got that in your stats, have you?
Yeah, that on your stats.
What's the European individuals? I've never heard of it.
Yes, you have, because you played in it. I've played. You obviously didn't win it.
You played well in it, didn't you?
Oh, I've never. I think I played well in the nightclub.
Was that in Belgium?
Belgium. Oh, what that was. Me, who decided to send me, Pete, and Granty to an end of season event? That was a bad idea. Anyway, moving on. Laura Massaro.
Long legs intro.
British Open champion twice. World champion. Welcome. And you two do share. I'm just going to bring in a special guest in a moment because you two share a couple of things in common. One was you were a kind of patched up last minute, and I remember you did tell us a story on that last week, and it'd be good to hear that one again because it was we'd both forgotten actually, Daryl, haven't we, how you two had come about in the first place, joining up as a very successful doubles team, but it wasn't kind of meant to be that way originally. But you had a lot of success, 2 silver medals, in one in Delhi and one in Glasgow, and you share a coach for the majority of your career. Anything you got to say about your coach, David Pearson?
Depends. Is he about to make a cameo or something?
So he won't be listening to this. You know what it's like with technology.
Actually, I listened to the Your Squash Skills podcast, Nick, the other day, and he only gets out of bed 14 minutes ago, so it'll be... No!
Have you had your shower?
What are you doing up?
You just woken up.
You've done your hair.
What are you doing up?
I just tried to bring him in while they were bad-mouthing you. They were bad-mouthing
you. Usually when I Skype, Mum's always like, hang on, he's got to get out of the shower. And then he comes in and he goes, oh.
I've never been able to have my hair cut, have I?
Sweetheart, I love that. Oh, Mum. This could go horribly wrong.
What was that?
Hello, Piglet.
Hi,
Mum.
So what, Nick? Oh, you want a couple of stories?
So yeah, I thought that we might.
Oh yeah.
Pete for a quick cameo, and I know you've got a couple of stories about these lovely girls. Jenny being your stepdaughter, Laura being your one of your proteges. So
well, I mean, the problem with most of the stories about Jenny are sort of you can't really maybe put them on
public consumption
online. I'm not very good at it. I really struggled last night to think of one or two. But the first one I remember quite clearly, which I can tell you about.
Jen's screaming.
Was many years ago.
Body language, Jen.
Many years ago. Jenny always thought she was a superb doubles player.
What?
She was later on.
Said that.
She was later on. Her and Alison Waters thought they were the bee's knees when they were probably, I don't know. How old were you, Jenny? 21, 20? You weren't that old, were you? But you they got picked for the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne, and they thought they were the supreme doubles pair. Her and Alison Waters. And the one thing I always remember, they were playing and they were losing badly, and they were in quite a big shock. They were losing badly. And I always remember in the fifth game, just to sum this up really.
We were losing badly. It was in the fifth game, obviously. They were losing badly.
Really bad. Jenny, you're not allowed to answer back. This is my...
This is a 2-hour match against the New Zealanders.
Yeah, well, Jenny, don't make excuses.
But carry on.
And it was a 2-hour match against the New Zealanders, and Jenny, in her wisdom, I can't remember what part of the game it was, but she actually drilled her opponent in doubles.
No, my partner.
Your partner in doubles. And everyone was watching, and we thought, what the heck is going on, really? And because I think I'm not that I'm a doubles expert, but I think it's quite hard to drill your partner. You might drill your opponent.
No, what it was is there was an angle off the back wall, and Al didn't quite.
Jenny, you're not allowed. You have to be quiet. Yeah. That was one story that was quite clean. But you see, you've never done as you're told, even as a kid. Right, Trapco.
Laura's getting closer and closer to the screen because she knows it's her turn in a minute. What about Laura?
Yes. Let's move it
the
along,
other thing
please.
I tried to stop her doing was answering back when she was having a coaching lesson.
Hey, Jenny.
Along there. Yeah, Laura, yeah. But that's Jenny. But Laura, I really struggled because Laura really never did anything wrong.
Because I'm a goody two-shoes.
The only thing I can, which we've heard many a time, that's the only thing I can, well, two things. One was, when Laura played in the mid-career, she was not the best mover. I always remember watching her playing a match against Obnea at the National Centre.
No.
It must have gone on for 3 hours.
22-20 the first game, I think.
In the fifth. There must have been 1,000 lets, because, both of them wouldn't be described as the best movers of their day at that time. And I always remember on the squad, Paul Carter and I were finishing the squad off with a session of ghosting. And we were on there, and all the other girls were going, and it was speed ghosting. It wasn't just rhythmic ghosting. It was supposed to be speed ghosting. And you know what Laura's like? Every time you said something, like she'd give you that face. And I remember saying to her, Laura, is that as fast as you can go? And she went, and she looked at me and put cards, and we thought, oh, you know what? It is as fast as she can go. Because I thought she could go about 3 times faster, but she was about as fast as she could go. And I remember thinking, oh, we've made a ricket here, because she gave me that look, the Laura Massaro look.
The Ice Queen look.
The Ice Queen look. And
Danny said,
I think it was the wrong word here. I wouldn't say it was.
Danny said that the first time you ever went on court with me, you nearly walked straight back off again.
No.
Well, I remember being worried, actually. We had a double session at Hallamshire on your court, Nick, years ago. I think it was probably one of the first times. It was like a national squad or something. And me and you. No, at Hallamshire.
No, that's what I mean. DP left Harrogate. He went to a different club.
I don't know what happened there.
Coaching off me. I didn't do the travelling.
But somehow DP was in Sheffield and he took us 2 on, and he hadn't really been on court with you, I don't think, before. And he's talking to us, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at him as normal, but I'm starting to panic a bit because I'm looking at you and you're just like zero eye contact with him, just sort of being like, just looking at the floor, and I'm thinking this is going to kick off in a minute. DP's going to be like, where's the eye contact? But he didn't even say anything. I was thinking, oh. But you've definitely improved since then.
Oh, yeah. But just to finish Laura off, and the word we used, I said, well, really, from this part of off the court, you look a little bit like you're moving a bit like an elephant, which was the wrong thing to say.
In hindsight.
It is.
Correct. I'm surprised I survived my job at the time, but it was like, I said, and well, then even the look was even, you know, even more of a stare. But I'll always remember that.
Joking aside, DP, you must be pretty proud of these two and the careers that they have.
Oh, absolutely. Being on a serious note, you know, they've had unbelievable careers, both of them, and you know, they've achieved the greatest successes in the game. And what more can you ask? And they always tried hard. They're always, you know, it was such a nice experience to be able to work with Laura and Jenny, you know, without making them big-headed. So in a way, you always say to a player, you know, in a way, as a coach, I was privileged to be able to work with those two, and obviously yourself and others. You know, I mean, Daryl, I know you only ever came on squads when I was there, but I hope you appreciated everything we tried to do. And
of course. And
just one other thing, very quickly, was I do remember in the car with Laura once on the motorway. Danny was there, and I think we were playing some music or something. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden there was this.
Oh my God, DP!
What?
Crack on.
All of a sudden there was stop the car, because Laura wasn't known for drinking, but there was all of a sudden there was this stop the car, and we were in the middle of the motorway, I think.
No, you weren't on the motorway.
Yeah, I'm just making that bit up.
Which bit?
And then Danny stopped the car, and Laura was. How can we describe it, Laura?
I puked everywhere.
You puked everywhere. Let's get right down to the nitty gritty. You puked.
Yeah, but you've left out two major details. One was the party for winning the World Championship.
Yeah, I know. I was going to bring that one in.
And second, I turned up for the next lesson at Harrogate, and he said, we're going to try and do drives into this bucket. That should remind you of Saturday night.
So that was, I mean, that's like the only time I saw Laura drink.
She's changed, EP, because if she just pans the camera to the side, she's got a gin cabinet that cost her 80k there.
Oh yeah, she does like gin. She does. What do you like?
She definitely does.
White wine?
Pardon?
What do you like? White wine?
I think you've had your timeshare here, DP.
I think so, yeah.
Before you start comparing my movement to Adrian Grant's or something, we'll move you on.
Well, one of the smoothest movers in terms of the rhythm and everything was Daryl.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, I mean, an absolute, really smooth rhythm of movement. Do you remember at Harrogate when you didn't have it all those years ago? Rhythm of movement.
What is that?
The key. Daryl had it in abundance. Anyway, I'm going to go now.
Bye.
You can keep going if you want, DP.
Say that again.
You need to walk the
You
dogs.
keep going if you want.
I'm going to keep going. And also, and I always when you beat Nick at the British Close that time when he got a bit cocky against you. Remember when you did him in at the British Close?
I do remember that, funnily enough, yeah.
You thought, oh, I'm in here again. All of a sudden, he got caught short. That must have been a very nice feeling.
Was he got his own back plenty of times after, but yeah,
well, he did.
Nice,
but that still must stick in your mind.
It does.
Anyway, guys, I'll see you whenever.
All right,
lovely insight.
Thanks for that slightly exaggerated stories, but
well, they weren't really bad stories. Anyway,
no, they could have been a lot worse.
They could have been a lot worse, couldn't they? If you admit, But maybe you could let a few out yourselves. Anyway, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye, DP.
See ya.
Oh, cut him off.
One more story.
One more. I had him in for a 5-minute cameo 20 minutes later. No.
I know.
Just quickly, what does that amazing... I mean, I will have to say, he mentioned about lessons. He told me that I once moved like I had a carrot up my backside. So, and I'm sure you've heard that before. He's not shy of telling you as he sees it. But his coaching has been amazing, hasn't it? I mean, great influence on your career.
Yeah, I think for me it was just that technical detail. I don't actually think there's anyone else in the world who can see what he sees with a swing that's at full speed. And I think we talk a lot about his technical ability, but he touched on it there with my movement. And I think it's that building in the movement with the swing. And, you know, as he said, I you know, a bit harsh, I did move like an elephant, but it was the biggest improvement over my career to improve that movement and link it with my swing. And yeah, like now I'm coaching a bit, I basically just seem to be regurgitating everything I learned from him with like my own little spin on it. So yeah, trying to obviously even get a new, the more I coach, the more I'm in awe of what you can see within a swing. So I feel hugely grateful that he was part of my squash career, and half of the stupid memories and half of the really good memories he's part of. So I think we did get away a bit lightly there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got away lightly there. You do have to just remind everyone, take it with a pinch of salt of the stories that he told. I definitely took those stories.
Jen's body language there. Jen was like, she's cowering in the corner.
No, I'm relieved. But yeah, he's obviously not just as a squash coach for me, but I'm probably actually more like him than I am my mum and my dad in terms of sort of personality wise. And you know, as you know, with your parents, and if they're involved with squash, you spend so much time with them. Like me and DP would, when he coached at Ilkley and Knaresborough and Heaton and Bradford, and before years at Harrogate, just sitting in the car together, and we just talked. He loved squash, history of squash and all sport. We just talk about sport and music and history, and I think one of the reasons why he definitely does, as you say, long legs, he's got like a knack of just spotting something that not so much me, because I wasn't very analytical about my swing compared to you two anyway, but he can just spot something in your swing that you might have been thinking, why am I not able to do that? And he'll just see it, and he's got a knack for that. And I think that's partly because he's such a naturally gifted sportsman as well. So when he was younger, he'd play hockey, table tennis, cricket, and he only picked up squash when he was 18, but he's definitely got an understanding of different nuances within each sport, and racket faces and angles and stuff like that. So that was one thing for me. I was more of a kind of visual learner, I think, or if I could open my mind and visualize another sport, or he tapped into me probably better like that than he used to hate doing quintic and, you know, stuff with me, because I wasn't very good at paying that much attention. I just wanted to play and hit balls, and
you had
you're a bit more natural.
You had a natural
but
style,
he could, if he said to me, oh, imagine a table tennis serve or things like that, I don't know. And as we said when we spoke about this on the previous recording, just to regurgitate it again, just about that ability. And you said, Daz, that all the best coaches in the world have that ability to tap into each player as an individual, and not just, you've obviously got your general ethos in terms of technique and movement and mentality and stuff, but it's actually finding something within each individual that's going to work with them and sort of spark them up and respond. And that's what he was always good at, I think, creating a relationship with the player outside of the court and then onto it through his personality.
I think that just shows, doesn't it, how many different personalities he actually coached over the years, from the crazy to the sensible.
And then,
who are you calling crazy?
Me, I think.
Pete Nicol rings a bell through part of his career.
Oh, he went mad, didn't he, at the back end? Yeah, I remember that. The long hair days. Daz, yeah. I know you wanted to ask a couple of things about, you want to ask about you two, how you came apart, a doubles partnership. And one thing I just wanted to touch on quickly is what you've been up to in the lockdown, and what's kind of next step. Because I know, Jen, thanks for you joining us, obviously, from Australia. You've moved there now with Rach Grinham, and you're working now with the national team. So how close are you to getting back on court now?
Yeah, it's good news here, actually. Touch wood, luckily everything's been going pretty well in terms of cases. We really don't have a lot. As tragic as it is for any individual death, we've still had under 100 deaths overall, and our state, Queensland, is pretty good. It tends to be 0 cases each day. So good news is that squash centres have got an opening date of June the 12th, so only a few weeks away. So everyone's pretty excited about that. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of restrictions, so that's great news. But yeah, it's been a while now, a couple of months. during lockdown. It's been great though, seeing, especially at the start, I feel like the first few weeks, seeing everyone being so creative, finding walls and ghosting in the garden and stuff like that. I think there's... Huh?
They're a thing of the past now, apart from Laura. Laura's just building into her programmes.
Yeah. I'm thinking that I wouldn't mind carrying it on. I coach a little girl on the weekend. Usually I coach her twice a week on court. And we do about a 2-hour session. It's only supposed to be an hour, but I enjoy it as much as she does. And we go down
in the park, isn't it? You go in the park and
yeah, and I think it's really nice just to get the ladder out. You can do it on court, but there's something about being outside as well, doing different things, and then riding the bike to the wall, hitting a few things, and I don't know. There's stuff that you can take from this time to also incorporate as we are all gradually allowed back on court.
100%. Laura?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a little bit different for me because I got that quite bad injury in October, dislocated kneecap and tore MCL. It's taken probably the most serious injury of my whole career and came in retirement. So it's actually been really nice to kind of get a bit of strength, get a bit of fitness back. I feel like my knee is actually probably, in terms of just recovering from the knee injury, probably the best thing that could have happened because I was starting to push it on court. I was penciled in to go to Italian League before I did the injury and sort of just assumed I'd be back ready, and then started to push it, I think, a little bit too soon. And this is just giving me the time to get some strength back up and get fit again. And I've just been really enjoying it. Haven't really done any sort of squash stuff. Just been doing workouts and mainly to offset the baking I've been doing. Made a best baking achievement so far is cinnamon swirls. Last night, brand new project of jam roly-poly, which turned out...
Do you have cream on the cinnamon swirls, like the Cinnabon frosting?
Yes. Honestly, like, it's so good. Made the dough from scratch and everything, about 450 calories per swirl. Needed to do a bit of a workout after that. So, no, just like, I wanted to set up a YouTube channel for a while to try and sort of get some momentum around, hopefully the
cooking one or
come out as well.
Laura Bakes. Cooking channel or squash?
Bit of both, maybe. mainly squash stuff. So set that up to try and kind of work in line with like my book coming out, but we're not quite sure what's happening with that now. So just really excited to kind of get that going.
Bobby and the Wolf.
Yeah.
Exclusive. Have you got a name?
Exclusive.
You got a working title?
Throwing around a few, but top of the list at the moment, I think might be All In.
Oh, good one. Not the ice cream.
All In, yeah. What?
The ice cream.
Yeah.
Long legs.
It's a lot harder to come up with a title than I thought.
All In, I like that. That's a good one.
Jen, you've got some nicknames that you girls used to call Laura over the years, haven't you? Long legs for one.
Well, I was going to throw it in earlier when DP was talking about the face so much, the looks.
I can't believe that didn't come out.
You don't mind it,
My face, that was my nickname.
My face, yeah.
That was Carts. And there's actually a pie shop in Australia called Pie Face, so I think about you quite a lot longer.
You've tweeted that on more than one occasion, Jen.
There's also a strip club, I think, in Manchester called Long Legs that I get sent quite a lot as well.
Yeah, in China.
I know that.
There you go. Next squad does.
Maybe. Let's go back to the Commonwealth Games because I thought that was a good little part we talked about last time, and as I said, me and Nick had forgotten about the way you two came together as a doubles partnership, and obviously won silver medals. But yeah, just quickly talk us sort of through how that came about because for you both. As a pair, that was obviously great success in the end. That maybe was a little bit unexpected.
I think I sort of said last time, like my memory of our doubles was kind of Delhi, and that sort of silver medal that we won there was just so unexpected because of the lead up. We'd done all of our summer practicing with other partners, me with Tanya Bailey and Jenny with Alison Waters, and we'd. As it is, like as you guys know, you do all of your building your team rapport, and then unfortunately in the individual, Alison got injured, and I guess the coaches were kind of left with, do we keep the partnership of Laura and Tanya together? But then Jenny was our number one player at the time, so that left our number one, you know, kind of with maybe the fourth in line kind of player, or do they sort of break up two partnerships and try to make one strong one but that's had no experience? So I guess it was quite stressful for the coaches. Looking back, I definitely said a few things that were quite harsh and sharp at the time, because I also wanted to play mixed and they wouldn't let me, because I think they felt it was such a risk to put Jenny and I together. So yeah, we kind of got thrown together really, but obviously like it, you know, the rest is history really, and we ended up doing really well, winning a silver medal. Jenny's an unbelievable doubles player. That backhand side was so strong, so solid. Everyone struggled.
Can I just go back to DP? I've never ever said what you said at the start.
Yeah, and you're always good at everything. I said this last time again, but you always used to be my first pick for doubles, snooker, table tennis, ball, darts. Whenever we were on national squads, Jenny was first pick. You had like Pete Barker, Granty, all these Daryl, all these people you could have chosen who were good sports people in their own right, and I was first pick. Jenny Duncalf every time.
I had one shocking experience with that as well. My debut of playing for England, we used to get drilled with a ball, didn't we? And
I missed.
We'll go on to that. You missed Tom Richards, yeah. Whatever, but
I was World War I think at the time, and I didn't even hit him.
Went through his legs.
He went for power.
Yeah, I know. And I picked out Jenny, and I knew that was the worst one, because she was so accurate, and I was absolutely right. Like, she got me spot on. I couldn't sit down for like 3 days.
To be fair, I didn't really hold back. When I saw the video,
really like a half
full-on lunge into.
Oh, Jen,
and then I even celebrated afterwards.
Absolutely disgraceful behaviour, that. Yeah, go on, Jen. Sorry, I interrupted you there for that one, but yeah.
No, I was just listening to Nick saying really nice things about me.
Yeah, well, I was just like saying about the doubles, and about, you know, kind of Jen was unbelievable down the backhand, and obviously she'd matured 4 years after Melbourne from the DP story, and I think it kind of.
She didn't hit you with the ball.
She didn't hit me with the ball. She might have hit our opponents, but we were
a couple of times.
But no, it was really good. And you know, Jenny was our number one England player at that Commonwealth Games, and she was brilliant at leading me. And I guess that's why the partnership worked. I think we've grown up together and come through juniors together. We know each other really well, and she led me with kind of that authority that it needed at the time. And then I guess the decision 4 years later came to like whether they stick with that partnership or not. And I think then that's when, I mean, you kind of have Glasgow, don't you, as a better memory for you, Jen?
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when we spoke, when we did this podcast before, when you were saying how you really loved Delhi, and I did love Delhi, and I basically went and said, oh, well, I prefer Glasgow. But it wasn't in, and when I listened to you talk about Delhi, I remember, I won't go into it too much like last time, but how Al obviously hurt her Achilles, and I was due to play with her, and I was sharing a room with her, and she was massively devastated. So that was difficult, because she was obviously a really close friend, and she was upset. But I can't ever remember being worried about being with you. I thought we had just as good a chance. I can never remember feeling. All I remember is being really gutted for Al, and I'd have loved to have done well together. I generally thought we could have done well together, but as soon as we were together, it was just like a natural partnership, because, as you say, we've grown up together. There was no needing to do anything, and I wasn't really concerned about, oh, we're going to struggle. I just thought I was sort of confident enough that we could do really well. And plus, you've got the added no pressure. We're just thrown together. So I kind of all in all saw it as we could still win gold. And even I still feel like more gutted in a weird way getting silver in Delhi, losing to Jackie and Joelle. I mean, they're a great team, especially Joelle on the forehand, as opposed to losing I feel like when we lost to Dipka and Joshna, that they sort of almost taught us a lesson a bit, whereas I still feel like Delhi, we had a better chance of getting gold, if that makes sense.
We actually weren't that far away in Delhi, whereas in I think in
Glasgow they spanked us.
They spanked everybody though.
Good team, great team, and you contrasted well. We saw that every day in practice as well. And you both, Jenny in Delhi, Laura in Glasgow, both got singles in silvers in the singles as well to Nicole. Can't talk. Last thing on this, can't talk about your careers without mentioning her, because you both came up against. She was formidable, longest ever stint as world number one. What was she like to play?
What was she like? Bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I guess, again, like going back to thinking like the writing of the book, and I'm reading through a lot of my old diaries, and I think now because the last couple of years she obviously wasn't quite as dominant as she had been through those early years, you forget exactly what it's like. And there was the rally that was clipped for the top 10 rallies of the decade or something, and there was one of me playing Nicole, and it just brought it back how every single rally was just really, really long, really, really hard. And you were, especially with the high tin, and even before that with the English scoring, she brought a different sort of physicality to the game that we'd never seen before. And I think like I remember being sat in Malaysia as like a young 22, 23-year-old, and I was watching Nicole play Cassie, and Jenny Tramfield said to me, the women's game's going to change and you're watching it. And it was Nicole playing Cassie. And I don't think Cassie actually finished the match. She got injured with her back, but it was the way the game transitioned from that powerful, hard-hitting player like your Cassies and your Lindas and your Carol Owens, and even Fitzy was slight, but she was on the volley and she smacked it, to the people who then took over the mantle, I guess, Nicole, Rach Grinham, Nat Grinham. They were just speedy and light and fast, and they moved the ball around, particularly the Grinhams, in a slightly different way than we'd seen before. And I was just in awe of Nicole playing. I watched some matches between her and Rach and her and Nat, and you're just thinking, me moving like an elephant, how am I ever going to match that? But she made us raise the bar, and she made us chase her, and she is the reason that the women's game is the way that it is right now, because everyone's taken that speed and that athleticism, and then they've just built on that. They've built on the low tin and the Egyptian attacking style of play, and there wasn't the physicality in the game, I don't think, before that. So I'm kind of partly annoyed that my era was the same as hers. We're all the same age, same through juniors, but I'm also really privileged to feel like my game was better for it, and I became a better player.
You got the better of her on some occasions, this being one of them.
Yay!
In Hull.
I was going to say, you were one of the few people that did find a way of sort of getting that mental edge over her, but I couldn't do it. Not many people could. You're probably the first one that I feel like, got inside her head. Whereas not many people did. How do you reckon? Yeah, but that, like, if you're honest, how do you think you did it?
Yeah, and that was the one thing, like, reading back through some of my diaries, that we talked a lot about this to my psychologist about it, and about how you can disrupt her, and how you can, you can't beat her if she's just in that sort of robotic. Start, just talk to her a little bit, ask her the odd question. She didn't really say an awful lot. She didn't give you an opportunity to almost talk to her, but very, very occasionally she would say something to me, and then I just jumped all over that in terms of like back at her, and not necessarily an aggressive way, but just got her thinking about something different.
Gave her the look.
I tried getting in her head once. My best.
I remember this.
Remember?
POD.
POD, yeah. So Nicole always, over the years, she has her little things, and I played her a million times, and for some reason it made me realise that normally I ask POD or up or down for the serve like 90% of the time, apart from against Nicole. She was always straight in there, so it's probably like my 22nd time playing her or something in some match. I think it was in Korea. And I've gone, and I was like, right, from the start, I'm going to get POD in first. So I'm straight in, like towards the end of the knockout, I'm just thinking, get in there first. I'm straight away, POD, And then she just goes, like, she's smiling because, again, she's still got that sort of facade that you can't quite get into. And she's just like, POD. And I'm like, POD. And she's just going,
the funniest stand-up I've ever seen.
Oh, it was like the most awkward stand-up.
It was getting longer and longer, wasn't it?
It was just like the two of us stood there going POD, and of course I backed down and went D.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, that failed epically.
So on it, before we hand over to Bobby's quiz, always the highlight, we quickly touched upon it that Laura's squash history knowledge got shown. I hope you've been studying, Laura.
Very poor. Very
Can we actually say what happened?
Yeah, go on. What happened?
I didn't recognise who had them.
Laura didn't know who that was.
With six had a brain freeze.
Who did he say it was?
Shall we try this again?
Yeah, try again.
Close your eyes.
16 British Open titles. Played hockey and squash for a country also known as Down Under.
So you now know.
Long silence.
You now know that is Heather Mackay. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. Heather Mackay. Yeah, but how many years unbeaten did she go?
Ooh. Is this for both of us?
Oh, can I join in? Oh, no,
yeah, you can join, Daz. You can join. Boys v girls.
I now definitely know she won 16 British Open titles. And do you know how many losses she had?
I think she won one final, 27 love as well.
Indeed, Jen. 1968. And check this out. In all of I don't know how many tournaments there were a year back then, but in all of her major finals combined over a career, she conceded 112 points, English scoring. She won one British Open, 27 love, 9 love, 9 love, 9 love. So how many years unbeaten? Give us a guess.
17.
Well, I mean, she's not dropping points. She's not dropping matches, is she?
No.
The points has thrown me off. It's too mathematical. Well, what Nicole was? Oh, I don't know.
It's unbeaten. I mean, I
4.
don't know.
How many?
8.
Laura?
I should know this.
10.
Rach.
Daryl was closest. Yeah, get another cameo again. It's 19 years she was.
Was it?
19?
So why didn't she win? What happened with those?
So why does everyone talk about Jahangir way more?
Yeah, she didn't play the few British Opens. She stopped coming. I'm not sure why, but I don't know whether it was too easy or what, but she stopped coming.
27 love, and then next year, no, I'm all right, thanks.
So this lady, before Nicole took over as world number one, her record, as most months as world number one, this lady held it.
Oh, yeah. Do you know who that is, Laura?
No, go on, long legs.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Did you get it? Have you said it?
Hang on, I think
I feel like I'm double checking myself now.
Don't Google it.
Just say it.
Susan Devoy.
Yes.
You mean I've literally, my heart rate's gone up to about 160.
She's like, not again. Not again.
And Dame Susan Devoy, MBE to be exact.
Oh.
She works for the New Zealand government, I think now.
Yeah, she's big time.
Yeah, 4 World Opens. She had 105 months as world number one, and then Nicole took over that. 105 months as world number one. Anyway,
was there a question in there, or is that just more stats?
With
I was going to ask how many months as world number one, but I didn't want to show Laura up anymore.
I was so disappointed with my history from last time that I actually did do some history, and
not that much. You couldn't see Susan Devoy.
No, I got it. I was just panicking a little that I might second-guess myself.
What have you learned, Laura? Give us a
biggest
stat.
shock was Michelle Martin, who won who basically equaled like final and semi-final and wins in the British Open and the Worlds, and had. So if she'd have won every single one, would have surpassed. I know that's a big thing, but I was just shocked at the amount. Like, it's a bit of a crap thing to bring up, but how many losses in finals she had.
Really, yeah.
That was my.
Michelle, if you're listening, we'll have you on the show and we'll set that right.
Sorry about that.
Go on then, Dad. You're in.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so this
is the boys.
Well, I needed to obviously think of a new quiz because Nick didn't record last one, so we had a really good quiz last time, and I have to say Laura won.
She did
last time.
I'm gonna get my
eyewear out again.
Trophy.
Yeah.
From last week.
The Bobby's quiz trophy. Okay. So it's only 3 questions. One of them's got part A and B. I love part A and B, and I love half points. So rear eyewear on. We've got another hat, different hat each week.
Hair looks good, Daz.
Thanks. Do you like my hat?
Yeah, nice.
Thank you. It's Isla's.
I was going to say.
Very NHS-esque.
I just have to do a
shout out.
I do have to do a quick shout out.
What's happened to your hair?
Stuart Saville has offered me 100 quid to charity to shave my head, and my daughter refuses to let me do it because she does. I don't know. She really gets on about me losing my hair. So and the clippers are in the post, have not arrived just yet. But anyway, Charlotte will not let me do it. So big shout out to Stuart. If you do want to donate that money, you're more than welcome. But Charlotte will not let me cut my hair.
How much?
Terrible excuse.
My head.
It's not a terrible excuse. You've got a daughter, Daryl. You've got they're the bosses. Come on.
Right.
Do half of it.
Get your foot.
So
do half.
Do half. See how she goes with that, and then the other half.
How much would you give me and Jen to shave our head?
Stuart, there's an answer for you. There's a question for you, Stuart. Come on then, Daz. We're in.
Would you actually do it? That's the question. Okay. Question 1. This is after Laura's comment about not having any women on the show. We are very much equal opportunities in squash. So I just wanted to do a little male versus female quiz. First question. Can't read my writing. Okay.
Again.
The two of us.
Those glasses.
I know. Who checks themselves in the mirror more?
Nick.
Males or females? Males or females? That's part 1. All you got to do, males or females, who checks themselves in the mirror more on a daily basis?
Well, in general, not squash.
Yes, this is a British study from 2016 that indicated that a certain gender check themselves in the mirror more than another gender.
I think it's a double bluff. I'm going to go male.
Male.
I'm going women. Female.
Male. Men. By a fair amount, to be honest. So the next part of the question is how many times or how many looks per day on average?
Who's going first?
I'll give you a clue. Women were 16 times a day.
All right.
I think.
All right. So just give you a little.
25.
Okay, Nick's gone 25 times a day. I mean, we want an average, Nick. So I mean, obviously, this whatever it is going to be an average.
Might be a bit high.
No, it's a good guess.
21.
Okay, long legs.
Whether people are telling the truth or not.
26.
Oh, okay. Half points going to have to be. 23 is the answer. 23 times a day.
Oh,
this is
half point.
What, Jen?
Who gets half point?
You and Nick.
Me.
Did you 21, 25? Don't panic. You don't have to apply for it. I give it out.
All right.
So Laura 1, Nick 1.5, Jenny half. Next question. The men's final of the US Open tennis.
1.5. Where's he got an extra point from?
I got the first one.
Who?
Oh, we did.
I thought that was question.
Male
Come on, Jen. Listen. Stop answering back like
Stop being so competitive. Men's final of the US Open tennis 2016 had 2.06 million TV viewers. How many TV viewers did the ladies' final have? US Open tennis 2016.
Which is
men's
2.6.
Men's final had 2.06. How many did the women's final have?
2.6.
Okay.
It was Serena.
2.1.
Okay, Nick.
1.7.
Oh, he's gone the other way.
Went the other way, just
to mix it up.
I think knowing you where your mind works, it's more than the men's, but I can't go like 3 million.
I'm thinking it might be in a Duff men's finals and then Serena trying to get.
That's exactly what it was, Jen. Jen, you're spot on.
I think you're
spot
right.
on. Yes, that was exactly what happened. It was. I can't remember who was in the men's final, but anyway, the women's final far surpassed the men's in terms of viewers. 3.1 million TV viewers. So yeah, if you had three, Nick. I picked an example where the women's final was far surpassing the men's. That is the way my mind works, Nicholas. The last question is just getting men back on a level playing field. But yeah, that was Jen. Did you say 2.6?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Well done.
Yeah, I did say 2.6. You
were
long legs said
2.1.
Okay, point for me.
Yeah. Did you say 2.1?
I meant to go higher than Jen.
No, Laura went higher, I think.
I went higher than Jen.
What did you say? 2.1.
I thought. Oh, I don't know actually. I think I've confused myself.
Point for me.
What is going on?
Video review.
Lose, you lose, long legs.
Video review. I think
2.6.
Okay.
It was Serena.
2.1. I meant to go higher than the 2.06, but I got confused with Jen. But yeah, okay. I think Jen did.
1.5.
No, so Jenny, 1.5. This is going terribly. 1.5, 1.5, 1. Last question, all to play for. Lionel Messi is the highest paid athlete in football, men's football. How much more does he earn than Ada Hegerberg, who's the highest paid female?
Oh, squillions.
Per week or per year?
So per year. So Messi earns as a wage, so not including endorsements, he earns $39 million per year. So how many times more? Or you can guess the female highest wage. It's up to you.
Wait, what was Messi again?
$39 million.
Can you tell us where the highest paid female player's from?
She's Swedish, isn't she?
34, Norwegian, I think.
Norwegian, is she?
Yeah, I think so.
34 million more.
Okay, so you're saying she earns $5 million per year. Yeah. Okay, Laura.
I'll go 4 million a year. Slightly less.
I think she earns less. I think she earns about 2.5 million a year.
She would love to earn any of those amounts.
Is it just wages?
I went 2.5 because just to basically cover higher and lower. Laura, I reckon she earns probably under $1 million.
Yeah, she does. She earns $450,000 a year.
That's why all the American team are going on strike and stuff, isn't it? Because it's a massive.
Wow.
So,
compared to a few years ago, that's not bad.
Kudos to squash, who are going equal prize money, PSA World Tour. Big shout out. That's always the case in the early career for you girls.
Exactly.
Jenny's now presenting most of those events.
Announcing all the thousands and thousands of dollars up for grabs.
Yes, we're getting there. So did Nick win that? Because I'm now confused, because that might put our
I'm confused.
Yeah, it did.
Our leaderboard out of sync.
I'm still down, I think. Well, we'll count the other one as well. So I think that's 3-all.
All right, count it as 3-all.
We'll
give you that. Oh my God, what's happened to my hair?
Girls,
thanks for that.
Double thank yous for coming back. And if I don't get this one recorded, then I don't mind if you delete my number forever and never speak to me again.
I've forgiven you for not recording the first one, but it might take me a little longer to forgive you for bringing DP on.
Girls, stay safe. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Been fun.
Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, girls.
Thanks, girls. See you soon.
Thanks again.
See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Now what?
I'm just hoping that I record it this time.
It does say recording.
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good to get them back on. The girls are legends. So much fun to share. I mean, you'll be the same. Like, share big chunk of our careers with those girls. You know, England teams were so much fun to be around, weren't there? Some great personalities. Obviously, the two girls, Alison, Adrian, Grant, Pete Barker, James.
Yeah.
And obviously the younger ones like SJ coming in and out and what have you. It was. I mean, you don't get many generations where everyone's around about the same age. We're all around about the same age, 2-3 years apart. And so we had like 10 years together pretty much. So it was so much fun.
Yeah. You know, golden generation is spot on. It's just to have that many players within the same similar age group growing up, men's and women's, was pretty special, I think. And I mean, both of them, as you can tell, like good personalities off the court, very different, but they're just you know, they've had great careers. That was the thing. We didn't sort of delve into it as much today because we didn't want to cover exactly the same ground as last time.
DP, no, that was fun. I think just seeing their body language when he came on was fun. And the best thing is you read so much about post-athletes, post-careers, and it's great to see both of them starting on their journeys to make a success. Obviously, Jenny, you represent her for your management, 7, and doing a great job in the MCing. Laura's so passionate about her coaching. Great to see them both doing well. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's one of the key things about, I guess, hitting that retirement age. You know, you're at it and I'm nearly at it. It's just having that focus of something to really drive you afterwards, because, you know, as an athlete, you're competitive, right? Like, whatever you want to do, you want to be the best you possibly can at it. So whatever you throw yourself into after, you're going to try and be the best at. And I think both the girls seem in really good spirits.
You're not at it yet. Loads of life in the old Bobby just yet.
Do you know what? I'm actually feeling pretty good at the moment. Let's get stuck in.